Hello and welcome to Trial TV Live. I am the Squeegee of Justice. Thank you so much for joining us on this very special stream. This is the verdict reaction to New Jersey versus Paul Caneiro, and we're so happy that you can join us. Looking forward to talking to my co-host, Claire. I shall bring her up now. Hello, hello, Claire. How are you?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there. I'm
Yeah.
kind of feeling a little moment,
Yeah.
Not so
Ooh.
much about the verdict, but so much about like it's over. Like
It's over at 10 weeks. Theoretically, well, asked for a 10-week trial, only ended up being 5 weeks. So, what did you think? Did you think it was going to last 10 weeks, or did you think 5, 6, 7 weeks?
well, Judge Lamar was right in when they asked for a certain amount of time allowing it because he knows these lawyers. He
Mm,
knows Monica Massalone for one and Andy Murray, and he was dealing with them in pre-trial, and he knows like basically how they do things.
mhm.
So I think he overestimated for caution
Yeah,
because it would be better to tell a seated jury like you're in it for life, rather than say
mhm.
you're in it for 2 weeks and then go 5 or 6 and have them be
Absolutely.
all disgruntled and miserable.
Yeah,
You know, making sure they could commit to it. Yeah.
sure, sure. Plus, you have the judge's schedule, you have the lawyer's schedule, you've
Mm-hmm.
got the courtroom schedule. You have all these, different cases going on, and they have to juggle it all. And then, of course, the jurors are probably, they're right
Yeah.
up there as well. So, yeah.
And lucky for Judge Lamo, he's in charge of scheduling as the head judge. Like, so
Mhm.
hopefully, since he blocked himself off to March 20th, nobody fills it up. Maybe he takes a vacation. Who knows? you know,
He kind of looked like he needed one there at the end.
a few times actually.
Yeah.
And that's actually going to be talked about quite a bit, I think. Already, I got a few comments from attorneys like in my DMs going, "What do you think about that?" Like, I'm thinking it's going to be an issue, and I'm like, yeah, I'm already there. I was there from the beginning of the trial when he kept
Yeah.
correcting her in public,
Hmm.
in front of the jury, like just going, "I'm going to stop you right there. Everybody up to the bench." It is just how he said it. And I know he
Hmm.
doesn't mean it to be prejudicial against one side or the other. It's really just his no nonsense style. He wants it on the law. He doesn't want anybody going this way or that way,
Right.
you know. Um, but you have to admit, like, if you were sitting on the jury and somebody kept getting called to the principal's office,
Hmm.
wouldn't you start to wonder what was going on? I mean, a few times he called them to chambers,
Right.
and that's like getting called to the principal's office. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. And he didn't do that to the state, right? I don't,
no, he has cut the state off quite a few times, but
yeah.
not the way he did. I mean, the way that he did Messalone in
Hmm.
Murray. He would
Yeah.
cut them off in the middle of their crosses and
Hmm.
go to lunch or break. And I know he's protecting the jury, but like I was just keeping notes. I don't think he was doing anything intentional. And the only reason I started keeping notes is
Hmm.
because I saw Monica Mastalone jump on it immediately. She started documenting it with the judge
Hmm.
immediately. Like
Hmm.
she's the one that got that in the charging instructions about. Remember, he came back from one conference with them and he said right away, "Jury, you're not supposed to react to anything I say to the attorneys, and you just
Hmm.
ignore all of that." And that was
Hmm.
because Monica Massalone said, "You're making me look bad. You are causing a problem for my client. My
Hmm.
client is going to suffer the consequences of this. I don't care you don't like me, but don't let them take it out on my client." You know what
Right.
I mean? Like
Right.
I'm sure, and as she should have. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
He did that a couple times, if I remember correctly, where he said, whatever just happened, or we're late, blame me. Don't blame the
Mhm,
attorneys. It's all he took ownership a
mhm,
couple of times
mhm.
of
Yeah, and
situations like that.
yeah, because I think he's very smart. He sees the writing on the wall
Hmm.
because he was an attorney. And he
Hmm.
knows if it happened to him, damn well it would be part of the appeal. He knows it. He knows
Hmm.
it. Like, he
Yeah.
knows. Yeah, he knows.
Yeah. And Iowa says, yep, he only has 10 days to do that appeal. So,
He does, but if you think Monica Messalone isn't already halfway there,
mhm.
you just don't
Which
understand the caliber of lawyer she is.
it,
As annoying as she was, she is an excellent attorney.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I, I mean, I'm not going to say negative things about her in that regard.
Mhm.
Just in the sense of there was a lot of circular conversation or
There
cross, and
will but if you
yeah,
were up on murder charges,
hmm,
would you not want them throwing everything they can at the jury? I mean, there was no stone left unturned in
sure,
pretrial motions,
hmm,
in trying to get all the evidence. They hit every point of the evidence, trying to dismarch it, trying to get you to think there's nothing to it.
hmm,
And then it really wasn't until the end that they did their alternate theory and really went in on Corey, like, this is why we think he could do it because blah
hmm,
blah 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 blah.
hmm,
Um, Before that, he was just a specter, you know.
yeah,
But I mean, if I was sitting in that chair, if I was Paul Caneiro, that's the kind of attorney I would want. Like, it's just like I won't
hmm,
defend what happened to those people,
hmm,
but I will say my client didn't do it, and I'm going to show you why you should think so too.
yeah. Yeah, widespread panic brings up that point of like that end with the tier, the state versus tier.
Yeah.
That was a little. She played that card once and won, and then she played it again, and with the iPad,
Yeah, yeah,
that
and I
was.
think it's because it got dumped in her lap. That was total in my humble opinion, this
Hmm,
isn't facts. Like, this is the verdict recap. So, like, it's not about the facts of the case anymore. It's about what we saw and what we felt about what we
hmm,
saw, right?
hmm,
And
yeah,
when that all came forward, it totally looked to me like a move in the Canero home camp for a last ditch effort, and they dragged her into it. They just dumped it in her lap.
mm,
All of that about the iPad, all of that about the message. I really think that was last minute, like within the last week or 2, and it was
hmm,
just thrown at her in desperation
mm.
from either the witnesses or Paul Caneiro himself.
So, how do you think they would have been able to coordinate that between Paul and Katie then? Because that would have had to been a phone call or seeing him face to face.
There's nothing that says that Paul can't have visits with his family or have any contact with them.
No, no, I know, but that's going to be recorded. So
True,
I
but,
would love to get my hands on any kind of record jailhouse calls from him
well,
for the
you
last month.
saw Katie's demeanor, right? You saw
Mhm,
Katie how she was after the fire with her dad, right?
mhm,
She
mhm,
has unwavering, he's not guilty. And even
mhm.
if he is guilty, you're not pinning it on him. This is
Right.
loyal. This is
Yeah.
like really strong loyalty. Like, not black and white, like, is he guilty, is he not?
Mhm.
More like, I don't care. You don't talk about my dad like that. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
And so I really think she did do it on her
Mm,
own, just dumped it in the lap, not knowing
mm,
she would get exposed so easily.
mhm.
Or she was manipulated into it. I don't know
Right.
what kind of information Paul could have got out, but it really bothers me that that was an Echo Star phone number linked to that text message.
Mm. Yeah, we listened to that, testimony again, and I heard that today that I missed the other day. Um, for
So it could be a big conspiracy that somebody did it, but it could be just as innocent
Mhm,
as somebody has the phone,
mhm,
right? And that could be anybody. Corey Caneiro would have been responsible for collecting anything of value from the Caneiro estate, from Keith
mhm,
Caneiro's estate, from
mhm,
all of them. And that would include if they found Jennifer's phone, somebody turning it into him. Anybody who opened it and looked would have made that message look red, correct?
mhm. Yeah,
So
yeah,
we don't know when that happened,
we
but
don't.
her actually seeing it turned it into something.
Mhm.
And she brought it forward as if it was something.
And
It's
she was
really
acting as if it happened down the road, like it wasn't that day, it was, like, months later or even years
right,
later or
right.
something. Yeah.
She's saying, "Oh," because at this point, she's getting the feeling after being in the court that the jury's not believing the specter of Corey, and she really wants them to think Corey did it because obviously her father didn't.
Mhm.
you know and
Yeah.
so now she's everything she sees is like, putting blame on Corey. She's the one who said all those things on the stand about Corey, this really trying to throw shade about
Mm,
his character, about his family life, about where
mhm,
he swims. I mean, anything
mhm.
she could think of to
Yeah.
put shade on him to make him involved with this with
Mhm,
absolutely no physical evidence. So when they finally got something like, oh well, the phone message was read, that means Corey has the phone, and then ergo jumping to the fact, oh, that means Corey took stuff out of the house, so he must have like been guilty. No,
yeah.
well,
He must
actually,
have done
Corey,
this, yeah.
Yeah.
He must have done this and taken those items the moment that he
Mhm.
killed them. Yeah.
Exactly, but actually, Corey taking stuff out of the house happened later, and actually, Corey taking stuff out of the house is reasonable,
Mhm.
as he is the trustee of the state and everything. Why wouldn't he? He's
Right.
actually responsible for it. Why wouldn't he? He would actually be ignoring his responsibilities if he left jewelry and electronics and anything of any value in that house after that fire,
Right. If it wasn't
right?
destroyed, if it
If
was
it
still
wasn't
in,
destroyed, right.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and obviously the laptop wasn't. They got a nice clear picture of it from the crime scene,
Mm-hmm.
and I do think the judge's ruling on that was correct. Them
Mm-hmm.
trying to infer that Corey did anything illegal without any evidence is just it's a road too far. It's
Mm-hmm.
way out of bounds
Mm-hmm.
of doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, it's not right.
This is a good question just right off the bat. Oh, I just didn't start it. Sorry. Hold on. It was Jennifer. Let me pull that up. Uh, so if there were multiple numbers, which there were, so how do you know who read it? How do
You
you-
can't unless you correlate it to their phone.
Yeah, she just knows that it was read. It went from received or delivered to being read. So she doesn't know. We don't know. Yeah.
Now, if you go and you pick up Jennifer's phone, and it has like because on your phone you can say, "Do you want your messages that you read to be, to get that little tick, the
Yeah. Yeah.
double tick and stuff like that?" Then
Hmm.
on the person who read its phone would have 2 ticks, at least
Hmm.
on my phone, it would.
Hmm.
And so it would be one of those 3 parties, Jennifer's phone or one of the other 3 numbers. And we don't even know if those other 2 numbers are actual phones. They
Hmm.
could be just some type of connection to the messaging service. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the Echo Star number could be a router number, like, it could be the phone number that's tied to the router that they're using for the system. The other phone number could be a Verizon messaging app. Who knows? Who
Right.
knows? All we know is it wasn't privately secured message between Katie and Jennifer.
Right. Now that we're on the backside of this trial, would you have liked to have seen Corey testify on any level about anything, or do you think he it was wise that he didn't, or would you have liked to have seen him just to kind of put some things to bed and tie up some of
So
those loose ends?
okay, I have 2 answers for that.
Okay.
The trial watcher,
Hmm.
the, member of true crime community who just eats this stuff up like the best dessert, would have loved to see Corey Caneiro on the on the stand.
Right.
I wanna know all the details. I wanna know how he feels about it. I wanna know what it's like to go 7 years and be blamed for something you had nothing to do with, be the specter in everybody's head like the boogeyman. Like,
Right.
I wanna know, alright?
Sure.
But logically, the other side of my brain says, "Hell no.
Yeah.
Worst idea in the world. Stay away from it because ghosts are fictional. Do
Hmm.
not, do not put life to this rumor. Do not put flesh and blood on that stand. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it."
Right, right. No,
Yeah.
great answer. Yeah, and I would agree with that. Yeah, of course, you're right. The trial watcher and the person that wants to, in my mind, there's a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up, and maybe he'll do an interview. Maybe at some point we'll hear
I
from
can't
him.
wait for the docuseries. I mean, if they
Yeah,
bothered to do one on Reed and Murdaugh and everybody else, they better do one on Canero. Or
yeah.
I'm gonna have words. I'm gonna write to Netflix today, actually. They say, "Don't you slight Jersey. You better do this one." Like,
It did have everything you could want, to be quite honest. I mean, there was definitely drama. There was courtroom drama. I mean, it's horrific what happened to
and
Keith
to
and
be
his
honest,
family.
the families are gonna need the money. Paul Canero's family
Mhm.
is gonna need the money. So Susan and the girls could make some money, and I'm sure, based on what I saw on the stand, they have some fantastical stories to tell. I don't know if they'll be true, but it'll be
Mhm.
entertaining.
Right,
It'll be
right.
entertaining for sure.
So, Stephen, yeah, we're going to get to the press conference. We're going to show the verdict, and then we'll get to a press conference. I don't know if we'll get to that one, but thanks for letting me know, and I'll look for it afterwards. But we'll watch what we have first, and then if it's not within that, then we'll pull that up as well. So, any other pre-game comments before we do watch the verdict together, and then we can comment on that. Do you have anything else you want to say before we do watch the verdict?
Um, No, actually, I'm gonna save it for live reaction because
All right.
actually I tried not to formulate too many thoughts as I was watching it unfold, knowing I was gonna do this again so that I get a better kind of
Gotcha.
yeah. Although I will say, smart move for matching outfits. What a show of support.
They did that often. They did that, I think,
Mhm.
pretty much the entire trial. And at one point, I think I had like maroon on too, or burgundy, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no, I've got
Oh,
the
yeah.
same.
You know,
I've-
someone asked me, "Why did Monica Mastalone change her skirt the other day in the middle of trial?" And I said, "I didn't catch that. I have no answer
Yeah,
for you.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was not skirt watching Monica Mastalone. Like, I have no idea." I said, and I said, "First, I have a question on why you noticed, like, and then second, like I have no idea. Like, I
Yeah.
really don't. Like, any
Our chat was all over it. I'm like, what? And then I scrubbed back and I'm like, yep, yep. She had like a black and white checkered maybe, and then she had a more grayish,
okay,
still same
maybe
vibe, but it was more gray versus straight up black and white
Maybe
checkered.
because she had to keep bending down. Was that the day she had to keep going in the box for evidence? I saw her going up and having to bend down, and I saw her having some difficulty keeping, like, bending down appropriately in a shorter skirt. That could have been the day. I don't know, but I missed it, like, because I wasn't in the chat at the time. I'm surprised everybody was like, "What is she doing?"
I
But
wanted,
could have
I
been
thought,
anything. Could have been a bad hem. Could have been a run in
yeah,
the stocking. Could have been I don't know,
I
too
want to
much
think
for
it was
lunch.
her was it her closings? Because I remember it was like a break, maybe even after lunch. But did she do closings before and then after lunch? No, I don't think so.
Yes,
Did
yes,
she?
yes, she did.
Okay, yeah.
Before and
So
after.
so then it was closings. Yeah, it was closings. They went to lunch. Yeah, because people were saying maybe Paul threw something at her, or she dribbled on herself or something.
Yeah,
But
or something, or just like, I had a little too much salad, like, yes. Now I'm uncomfortable in my tight skirt, so,
she's got a
yeah.
big mustard stain on her on her leg
Mhm,
there, her lap. Oh,
mhm.
we love you, Monica. We truly do. We're not putting you
We
down.
do, and I'm sorry they focused on your skirt there, Monica, 'cause you really you were doing your best for your closings there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get to this is the verdict. Let's get to it.
Mm.
I can't help the audio. It just is what it is. So.
Yeah, what is with that?
All
It
right,
sounds
court is
like
back in session.
monsters.
Okay, we can have.
Mm.
Hey, everyone can be seated. Thank you. Mr. Foreman, I received a note at 1:54 p.m. It indicated that we have reached a verdict. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that includes all counts?
All counts.
Okay. All right, so we've marked that as CJ-6, the communication.
Oh. Mm.
Hold on. Sorry, I was muted. If you want me to pause it at any point, just give me the
Oh,
high
okay.
sign and I
I
will. So
I had just lost audio on the judge, and I was like, "What was that?"
yeah, no, I
Okay.
paused. So audio's okay out
Yeah.
there. All right. Because we're in a different audio's fine. All right. Because we're in a different program here. So I can't
Mhm.
control the audio. It just is coming from the feed. So I don't have control over it. And that Darth Vader, whatever, that's like some kind of filter
I
that they
know.
have on it
It
there.
is.
And
It's horrible, and it's always when people aren't talking, but they're moving around in the,
yeah, it's like a noise gate or a noise suppression or something like that. So
I've done everything to try to get rid of it, and I couldn't reverse it. I just can lower it, like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
And Jennifer, no, we don't have closed captioning, unfortunately, with this one. Yeah, CC is not. See, closed captioning is unavailable. So,
Mhm.
yeah, if you want me to pause, I will, or if you want to just watch it all the way through, and however you want to do it. So, okay, here we go.
Okay.
Between the court and the jury. So I'm going to go through each one of the questions with you one by one. And You'll just answer the question after I read it, okay? All right. If you don't mind, can you stand for me? Unless you're uncomfortable. Do you have your verdict sheet?
No.
Okay, do you want to get that?
Yes.
All right, thanks.
I'm glad
As long
he
as he
asked that.
says you guys don't all need yours.
They would have had to start all over again.
Okay, sir, we'll start from the top. All right. How do you find as to count one of the indictment charging the defendant, Paul Caneiro, with the murder of Keith Caneiro?
Guilty.
All right. Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the homicidal act by his own conduct, meaning the defendant actively and directly participated in the homicidal act?
Yes.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the murder in expectation of the receipt of anything of pecuniary value?
Yes.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the murder for the purpose of escaping detection, apprehension, trial, punishment, or confinement from another offense or offenses committed by him, the defendant?
Yes.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the murder while he was engaged in the commission of or an attempt to commit the crimes of murder?
Yes.
Count two. How do you find as to count two of the indictment charging the defendant, Paul Caneiro, with the murder of Jennifer Caneiro?
Guilty.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the homicidal act by his own conduct, meaning the defendant actively and directly participated in the homicidal act?
Yes.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the murder in expectation of the receipt of anything of pecuniary value?
No.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the murder for the purpose of escaping detection, apprehension, trial, punishment, or confinement for another offense or offenses committed by him, the defendant?
Yes.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the murder while he was engaged in the commission of...
What do you think about them saying no to getting no pecuniary value from the death of Jennifer?
That threw me at first as I was, because I'm taking notes and I've got G for guilty, and then I got Y, and then Jennifer, G for guilty, Y, then an N. I'm like, did I hear that right? I'm like, I must have
Right,
misheard
because,
that.
I mean, he does get the value of the businesses from Keith, right? But it's the life insurance they're worried about, and he doesn't get the life insurance if Jennifer is alive. So
I thought I was surprised that they went that route as well.
it is probably the only thing they gave him because, like, as far as Keith's, like, once they went through all of those, once you heard that, you kind of already are thinking, well, they've got him on the fraud, they have him on the arson, like they have him on it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that threw me. Like, I was wondering if anyone in the chat, because I know you got a couple of people that seem to be either paralegals or lawyers, like they're really pretty vested in law too. Like what they actually thought about that. Anybody, please, because that kind of threw me. Like, I don't even know what to think about that.
It confused me too, because I agree with Widespread here. I think, well, as we're going to find out, it was the kids as well. I'm like, but wait a minute, didn't they? It for me, it was all the trust. You know,
I mean, do I have it wrong? The pecuniary gain is the life insurance policy, the trust, right?
Yeah, that's the way I interpret it. Yeah, I without looking at the verdict form, I'm pretty sure. I mean, he did it for financial gain. That's essentially what it means, and that's the sole reason why everybody got wiped out, was because it was going down the line. So, I honestly, I don't know. That would be a question. That'd probably be question number one I'd ask. Like, why did you guys vote no for financial gain, pecuniary gain?
Yeah, because the legal definition in New Jersey statute, or 2C27, it's the benefit of money, property, commercial interest, or anything else of primary economic value. So that's the life insurance policy.
Wasn't that the sole motive, to kill everybody? Was that so he could get half of the trust? Right?
I just I have to find the answer to that, because the only reason Jennifer is dead is she was a beneficiary of that life insurance policy and Keith's estate.
Yeah. And then the kids too, right? Didn't it go down to the kids then?
Yeah, I know. I just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the whole motive to kill them all.
Because they're almost saying like, well, they only killed this whole thing is only because he stole the money from Keith and he didn't want to get caught. Like
Mhm.
I think I have it.
What?
When you think about the evidence presented in the case, right?
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know he stole from Keith. You know Keith knows about it. There's
Right.
no, although we have a theory,
Mhm.
what evidence was there that Paul Caneiro ever stated he was looking forward to getting that trust fund money?
Mhm.
Whatever, like he was
Mhm.
acting as his trustee for all these years,
Mhm.
as soon as he became the trustee in 20 whatever, he could have offed him then if he
Mhm.
wanted the trust fund money. So I
Mhm.
think that's what it is. There's actually no evidence that says this is what he was thinking. You can't prove that he did it for the trust fund. You
Mhm.
can prove he did it to cover up his other crimes and his theft from
Mhm.
Keith and his stealing money from Keith. I
Mhm.
think that might be it. Like, they just didn't feel they didn't see anything tangible, nothing physical that said,
Right.
"Yeah, he wanted the trust fund money."
So the differential to differentiate it is he specifically was talking to Keith about it. There was no evidence that showed that Jennifer was saying, "Hey, what are you doing with the money, Paul?" And then of
Mhm.
course the kids. So there's no
Exactly.
direct evidence that
Since
tied. Yeah.
they are only involved with the trust fund, the life insurance policy after they're all his reward, so-called reward would be that the pecuniary gain would
Right.
be the reward of that, but there's no documentation that that was his mindset or that he
Mhm.
had made any plans about doing that. It's
Right.
all plans about covering up what he did with the companies, which
Right.
are only tied to Keith.
Right. And the
I mean, that makes sense to me. Am I going off rails here? I mean,
no, no,
that
no,
now I feel
no.
better about it now, thinking about
Yeah.
it like that.
Yeah.
Because also to say that he did it for the money, there's the well, he was only 50%. There's Corey too. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
you
Yeah,
know.
and the kids probably had no idea. Sophia doesn't. I'm sure nobody told her, "Hey, if mom and dad die and Jesse dies, you're next in line." I'm sure that was never a conversation with her. So Jennifer, of course, knew. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, there was no direct evidence that showed Paul talking to Jennifer or Keith talking to Jennifer. Yeah, if I die, you're next in line. Watch out for Paul
Mhm.
stealing from me. That kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. All
And
right.
he had served as trustee of that life insurance policy for years. So
Mm-hmm.
he knew all about it. He knew it existed and there was no evidence that was because and also the evidence actually goes against it because he was really using that money to live off of. So like they have to be alive funding the life insurance for him to keep taking money out of the trust account
Mm-hmm.
and fund his like extra lifestyle he had going on.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Good. We solved that, or you solved it. But that makes sense. I mean, that does make sense. There was no direct evidence
Yeah,
showing.
I don't know if it's
Yeah.
true, but it makes sense to me. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to hear alternate theories. So,
Will we ever get our hands on the verdict form at all? Do they ever release it later or no?
I'll have to check into that. Everything usually
Yeah.
stays pretty tight. And even
Yeah.
the warning that Judge Lameau gave at the end is all keyed into let's not taint this case. We still have appeals and sentencings to talk about. Like
Right.
Jersey's pretty serious about that kind of stuff.
Right. Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, guys, just a quick reminder, if you have questions for Claire or myself, just do a QQQ so Aaron can pull those out or we can see those. All right. Let's continue on.
Of or an attempt to commit the crimes of murder.
Yes.
3. How do you find as to count 3 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with the murder of Jesse Caneiro?
Guilty.
Did defendant Paul Caneiro commit the homicidal act by his own conduct, meaning that defendant actively or directly participated in the homicidal act?
Yes.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder in expectation of the receipt of anything of pecuniary value?
No.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder for the purpose of escaping detection, apprehension, trial, punishment, or confinement for another offense or offenses committed by him, the defendant?
Yes.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder while he was engaged in the commission of or an attempt to commit the crime or crimes of murder?
Yes.
Can you
Did
pause
the
for a
defendant,
second?
Paul Caneiro, commit the murder while Jesse Caneiro was less than
Paul Caneiro, every time during the trial, shed a tear when Jesse came up. He got emotional. He did everything. He's now just been told he murdered his nephew, and he's stoic.
Yep.
He's blinking. He's not moving. He's just that angered me when I first saw it, because it just confirmed that I thought it was all theatrics to begin with. And because that's the only time he cried. And
Right.
I was like, it just, I mean, I would never want to be in his shoes. I can't really think of what it would feel like right now to be him. And I guess it's not right to judge while you're hearing that. So I want to give him a little grace. But my immediate response was a little bit of anger that there wasn't a tear shed, and yet he did all those blubbering during the trial in front of the jury.
Yep.
And nothing now, nothing.
Nope. Stone cold. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesse for sure. And then when Caitlin was on, he got a little emotional when Caitlin was talking too. I think when she choked up for a little bit there. But yeah, Jesse was the one that really hit him hardest, I guess. And yet here he is. Yep. You've just been convicted of that brutal annihilation of this person that you theoretically viewed as your own son, and nothing. Well, I know they're told not to show emotion, but
well, it doesn't matter now. They should show it now. At least some righteous indignation that you didn't do it. I'd like, but no, nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand Monica being so somber and like stoic, because like I think she was prepared for this, and she gave her bed shot. But for her, it's a loss. It's a
Sure.
And he this just the look. There's just something about it.
Yeah, not even just like a sigh, like not even like a, or just nothing, nothing.
And for me, maybe I'm being too hyper analytical, but even his shoulders didn't change. Like if
Right.
Most people hearing something very distressing, whether you mean to show expression or not, like your body style, you will slump your shoulders down a little bit with the weight of what you just heard. My point being, he's not hearing anything weighty. It's almost as if he expected this. Like he's already convinced himself this is the way it was going to go.
Right. And isn't he the analytical one, the even keel, doesn't get emotional, right? That's what came out in testimony.
There's another word for that.
What?
Sociopath.
I knew you were going to say that.
You knew I was going to say. I had to say it eventually, but I had to wait till it's a reaction. I can't say it while I'm trying to be reasonable. Well, yeah, like he reminds me of anybody who could do this. I definitely think there's a switch in them that most people don't have, and if they do, won't recognize it. Won't put it out there to anybody in public.
Right.
Like, you really got to turn some stuff off to handle what he handled.
I agree. Yeah. No, yeah. Sitting for 5 weeks, just being pummeled with evidence, and it's all going against you. And then the closings, being told, you annihilated your brother and his family. And, Mr. Decker, I think, used that word a couple times, and powerful words.
And I don't think he was a monster his whole life, but I definitely think he's got one of those switches that most people don't have. The ability, I mean, we see it in everyday life. A simple explanation would be the man who can tell his wife he loves her and then leave to go spend the weekend with his mistress.
Right.
Within the same hour, like there's a switch there, like that you can do that most people, that the majority of us cannot. Okay.
Right.
And I just believe Caneiro has that switch. Paul has this switch.
And just speaking of reactions, even the paralegals are behind them are reacting. Of course, that female with the blonde, she's heavily reacting. The woman to the left there, she's reacting. I mean, I mean, everybody's reacting, and you're right. I would have thought at least a sigh, at least some sort of
even Monica Mastallone's shoulders are now slumped with the weight of what she just heard, but he didn't. You know, He did shift a little in his seat, but he's not like all the way back yet. And I thought at least when they heard about Jesse, he would have more of a reaction.
Yeah. 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 JMS. Yeah. The paralegals were crying. Their initial reaction, that first guilt, the very first guilty verdict, I think the woman on the right, well, they both have glasses, but the woman with longer hair, I seem to get more emotional than the other one. Yeah. So
now, are those for the defense or are they for the prosecution? Are they the defense paralegals or the prosecution?
I think they're prosecution. I think they're, yeah.
I thought they were too. And somebody, I think it was a Legal Blonde, it said, like, why are the prosecution team crying? I was like, the relief of 7 years of work. And this is finally over. And to hear that, I mean, I can imagine I'd be bawling like a baby.
Yeah.
Like just
yeah,
the stress relief,
They were probably teenagers when that happened.
They're so young. Yes. Yes. They probably weren't with it the whole 7 times, but the amount of work, I mean, we saw the evidence displays. We saw the work that was involved. I mean, just one instance, Christopher Decker found out about that text message, right? And Nicole's Wallace has to work on how she's going to do cross. Christopher Decker goes back with his paralegals and his team and finds the extraction report, that exact text message, and finds the other phone numbers related to it, so that, sees if there's anything to it, because they didn't know there was anything to it at the start. That was a gold thing that they found. Like, they had to go look for that, and then saw it and was like an aha moment, and that I can cross her with this. This isn't a private text. What's going on here? Right. This will definitely put doubt on it with the jury. And it worked. But just to have a team like that, that's how they did, like that, to know where all that evidence is, to keep it cataloged, to be able to search through it, to find and the judge saying you got till 10 o'clock at night to throw a brief at me that you're going to talk about at 8 o'clock. It's those two paralegals searching the cases and sending stuff to Decker that he can write when he needs to write, if they're not writing it themselves, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. And then I was going to say, you gave him the grace of, what's that, from 4 to 10, and they came up with it at 8, so 4 hours. But there were some times where they were like, could you pull that up? Or, they were pulling it up like on the fly sometimes, so yeah, paralegals they are the unsung heroes for sure.
They love what they do, though. You have to have a passion for the law to.
Yeah. All right. Ready to continue on?
Yes. Sorry about that.
No. Just wondering. Okay.
14 years old.
Yes.
Count 4. How do you find as to count 4 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with the murder of Sophia Caneiro?
Guilty.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the homicidal act by his own conduct, meaning the defendant actively and directly participated in the homicidal act?
Yes.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder in expectation of the receipt of anything of pecuniary value?
No.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder for the purpose of escaping detection, apprehension, trial, punishment, or confinement for another offense or offenses committed by him, the defendant?
Yes.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder while he was engaged in the commission of or an attempt to commit the crime or crimes of murder?
Yes.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder while Sophia Caneiro was less than 14 years old?
Yes.
Count 5. How do you find as to count 5 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with the felony murder of Jesse Caneiro?
Guilty.
How do you find as to count 6 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with the felony murder of Sophia Caneiro?
Guilty.
How do you find as to count 7 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with aggravated arson as to the structure of 15 Willowbrook Road, Colts Neck?
Guilty.
How do you find as to count 8 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with aggravated arson as to the structure of 27 Tilton Drive, Ocean Township?
Guilty.
Count 9. How do you find as to count 9 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with possession of a firearm for unlawful purpose?
Guilty.
Thank
Yeah, I
you.
can.
Thank you. Sorry,
I was like,
guys.
I couldn't hear you. I was just about to say,
I know, I know.
yeah.
Thank Aaron. Aaron's like, you're muted, you're muted. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Um, I paused it because we're talking about the woman with the blonde hair and
Mhm.
sitting right behind uh,
Yeah.
Monica, and then I think that's a cousin, right? Because look
I
at
think it's a cousin or friend. She's been there a lot. She sits with the sister a lot. She talks with the mother a lot. Well,
mhm,
she's never like right exactly next to them. So I
right.
don't think it's Jennifer's sister, but she's been there a lot,
Hmm.
and she's very supportive. She always sits with the family.
Yeah.
So she's either a cousin or a very close. Jennifer was very well loved. She had good friends too, so it
Hmm.
could be
Hmm.
somebody like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking like cousin because if you see her sister sitting right
Mhm.
behind Mr. Murray there, they just kind of
Mhm.
they
Yeah,
seem
that's her brother-in-law and her sister right there.
yeah.
And I
And
think
then
the one in the brunette is another cousin or relative. She's there all the time also, the brunette.
mhm.
And isn't that her mother next to her?
Yeah,
Is
I thought the one woman with the dark hair and white top, I thought that was her mom. So her
it
mom's the
could
one.
be, but those 2 are always together, the 2 there.
Yeah,
The one in the
yeah,
green and the one with the brunette hair. They're always
yeah.
together. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's the mom and the grandmom, I don't know,
Oh,
or
yeah, that could
sister, I
be.
don't know.
That
But
could be.
they're definitely Jennifer's family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as we're pulling out people, Susan and Katie and Marissa, they were nowhere to be found, right?
Susan left after the first question. I did not see her return back to the courtroom, although somebody mentioned they saw her, but I couldn't find
Oh,
her.
I
Like,
didn't
I
see her.
kept looking,
Yeah.
and I thought I identified one of the daughters, but I didn't recognize Katie anywhere.
Hmm.
But then again, after after they got the feeling that they got after their testimony and hearing closing,
Mm-hmm.
closing was pretty brutal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would come for it either.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, JMS. Just you guys have been talking about this. Yeah, the defense has the paralegal next to Mr. Murray there.
Yes, and I don't know his name, but he's been there for everything. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
He's a young guy too. Yeah, the
Mhm.
all the paralegals seem to be fairly young, at least by my standard.
Mine too. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're up to arson now. We're at up to the arsons.
Count 11, how do you find as to count 11 of the indictment charging the defendant, Paul Caneiro, with possession of a knife for an unlawful purpose?
Guilty.
How do you find as to count 12 of the indictment charging the defendant, Paul Caneiro, with the unlawful possession of a knife?
Guilty.
How do you find as to count 13 of the indictment charging the defendant, Paul Caneiro, with theft?
Guilty.
Indicate the value of the pecuniary benefit the defendant received from the misapplication.
Check number 1.
All right, so it's $75,000 or more.
Yes.
Okay. How do you find as to count 14 of the indictment charging the defendant, Paul Caneiro, with misapplication of entrusted property?
Guilty.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, derive a pecuniary benefit from the misapplication?
Yes.
Indicate the value of the pecuniary benefit the defendant received from the misapplication.
1. 75,000 or more.
Okay, thank you. Count 15. How do you find as to count 15 of the indictment charging the defendant, Paul Caneiro, with hindering one's own apprehension or prosecution?
Guilty.
Count 16. How do you find as to count 16 of the indictment charging the defendant, Paul Caneiro, with hindering one's own apprehension or prosecution?
Guilty.
Okay, thank you, sir. You can be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard the
So, what were the two versions of apprehension? There were both. He had two counts for.
Right. In the indictment, they'll say exactly what they're talking about, but one was probably his statements. Actually lying about his alibi would have to be one.
Mhm.
Okay. And the other one would have possibly had to do with evidence. It might have to do with the DVR and things like that.
Yeah, that for sure. Yeah, for sure. I can see that.
Yes,
And then his
because
statements.
in this particular case, you see they put all the enhancements they could. The
Mhm,
kids under the age of 14, the
mhm,
fact that the arson contributed to the death and actually trying, to get another actually murder enhancement for it,
mhm,
especially with the children, because there was smoke in their lungs, which means they
mhm.
were alive, which means his attempted murder was not successful until the fire, or may not have been successful. They don't know.
Right.
Well, if there had not been a fire and they were discovered, would they be alive? Right?
Yeah, can you imagine? Because that was a slow smoldering, right? By all accounts, it took hours and hours. That's
Hmm.
started at 3:30, right? Shots at
Hmm.
3:30. Uh, then at 12:30, they see the flames. I mean, that's 6 hours, maybe they were. Oh God, I can't even imagine. Just
Yeah,
can't even
and there's
imagine.
no way, based on the body conditions or anything, that they could do around about, like, even anywhere near close of time of death to get it within it.
Yeah,
Like, they don't know. But it is most likely that they did loss of blood. I mean, look,
yeah.
to bring, I mean, that was horrible testimony, but even the condition of Sophia Caneiro,
Mhm.
there's no way.
I don't know how she was. I don't know how any. Well, I don't know how Jesse and Sophia were breathing after an hour. To be quite honest.
Especially Sophia, because she went from the kitchen to where she was found, and she's
Yeah,
fighting the whole time, and there's so
yeah,
many wounds. I
yeah,
just the chaos of the whole scene is just mind blowing. Like
yeah. Yep.
that's why when Monica kept bringing up 6 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I could see it, because it's a total chaotic thing. It takes
Mhm.
only seconds for the bullets to fly. That was nothing
Yeah,
compared to what happened in that kitchen.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Just horrific. Absolutely horrific. Yeah, I think we're pretty solid that that's all. Yeah, that everybody behind. So the defense sits in front,
mhm.
state sits behind. So everybody back there is on the prosecution.
And since they have the burden, they have all the biggest boxes of stuff.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. So we just heard the verdict. We'll just. Do you want to continue on until he releases the
Well,
jury?
are there questions? Are there questions? Because I mean, basically from now it's just talking about the sentencing, right? And the
Yeah. Yeah. So
in
we
I mean,
can.
some may want to watch him get, like, cuffed up and chained up and taken away again. Like, I don't know. Which,
Let's see. Let's get to. Yeah, we can get to some questions. Let's see.
yeah, see what they want to do.
Oh, this is coming up. Amanda, I've never heard a judge advise jurors not to talk to the press after the verdict. Do you think that was a sensible thing for the judge to do?
He was careful. He said about making misstatements or giving too much information. He never said they could not talk to the jury, to
Hmm.
anyone, because he can't.
Hmm.
But he did kind of lean that way. I understand why you got the impression that he said that. But
Hmm.
if you replay it, he doesn't actually say don't talk
Yeah.
to anyone. He says what happened in the jury room should remain sacred and
Hmm.
private, because that is how jury is. It's a very sacred thing. And you get,
Yeah.
it's like nobody talked to you, nobody, the whole thing. And it's guarded in the justice system extremely,
Hmm.
and we all see that. And so he would prefer that nothing comes out, because he knows he has seen this before, and he can look into the future where there are filings that are going to happen. There's a sentencing that still
Hmm.
has to happen. And what he doesn't really want to see happen is some statement by a juror, like he said,
Hmm.
happening, and there being a motion to try to overturn the verdict, to try
Hmm.
to nullify the jury, to
Hmm.
try to delay the sentencing, to try to add to the appeal process, to that they have to have a whole nother trial. Like, I mean, can you imagine, after 7 years and we have to have a whole nother trial?
Right.
And I can't wait to get into that. So, like, about the what are the issues for appeal, because I think there are several, actually. you know
Hmm. Yeah.
you know there are several things, definitely issues, that I can't wait to talk to some lawyer friends about it, that I think there's risk in this trial for appeal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to do a video on that? And if so, let us know
Yep.
and we'll watch it.
I
Okay.
will. I
Okay.
will. I
All right.
will.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to that. All right. So this is, so I fast forward. This, I think, is when Judge Judge Lemieux says what he says. I think it's right in
Mhm.
here. I think it's right here. Let me see. Let me cue it
Yes,
up.
before he lets them go.
That's number one. Number two, I said this to you before. I do my best to try to keep matters calm and here with some humor here and there. There's to try on would be like this. So the fact that you did that and you did it the week of January the 5th, some people on this jury were here on that first day.
Was it before that? Do you think was it before that? I forget now.
No, it's after. I think it's right before he discharges them. He's complimenting them all before for their diligence and being there and blah blah blah. But before they leave, that's
Okay.
when he does the thing.
All right, I'll just play it. It's only like a couple minutes.
Yeah, it's only
And have been here throughout the entire time. Our system of justice, if you remember what I said in the beginning, fails without people like yourselves for taking the time to sacrifice your time so that our system of justice can have jurors to come in and to render decisions on cases just like this. So the fact that you did that and you did it, all of you did it with such professionalism, with dedication. I watched you each and every day. I told you before that you all paid attention. You very much were focused on the task at hand. And I commend all of you for what you've accomplished here, which is to render a decision as to this difficult case. That's number one. Number two, I said this to you before. I do my best to try to keep matters calm and here with some humor here and there. There's no humor in any of this, and everyone knows that. And I think I've said that before, but I say it again now so that you understand. I only do it because I understand the impacts that it has, and I wanted to make sure that you understood, that I understood where you were coming from, and I tried to do that by keeping things calm. The third thing that I want to say is that at this point in time, I now lose control. And when I say that, as you leave here at the courthouse today, obviously you weren't allowed to know anything about what was going on in the real world as it related to this case for an extended period of time. I want to remind you, everything that happens in that jury room, that's the sanctity of that jury room. That should be left there. I can't force you to not say anything, but I have to make sure that you understand. If for some reason you decided to either to speak out to the media or speak out to anyone else, if you say something there that has an impact on what happened here, then I'm going to have to bring you back and I'm going to have to question you as it relates to whatever that you may or may not have said. I don't say that to threaten you or in any way. I just need you to understand the truth that would be something that I would need to do to make sure that.
And when he said, "I don't mean to threaten you or anything," I'm like, that sounds exactly like a threat.
I think he's trying to acknowledge the weight of authority that any statement a judge makes has.
No, I know. But when he said that, I was like, "Don't."
I think he's just trying to say, like, I realize I'm the judge, and anything I say, you're going to feel like you have to do it. And I think that comes from dealing with Monica Mastalone at the bench, up at the bench quite a few times with her telling him, your words have weight. You're intimidating the jury. You are making the jury look at my client this way or that way. And I'm pretty sure he's being very cautious here, but because he's being so cautious about it, he's like overly
erring on the side of caution for sure.
And then just saying it anyway, and it's going to happen anyway. Like there's no way that it can't. Yeah.
I do like the fact that he addressed the whole humor thing too, because some people in chat were like, "Oh, this is such a somber moment and somber, case. How can he be cracking jokes?" But then I think probably 99% of our chat loves this guy and wants to see more trials with him. So I'm glad he addressed that. He's like,
he does that to keep the tension dispersed in the jury.
Yeah.
If you think about everything you have to hear and see, especially in a case like this, and these are average people like you and me, and you just sit in that chair. Well, maybe not like you and me, because we would sit there and we'd be analyzing everything and taking notes and take it like a job, but they're there and they're just doing their duty. And, And he's letting his humor, how do I say this? His humor gives them the freedom to be human.
Mm-hmm.
To some of them, they don't want to deal with these facts. Like, this
Right.
is so horrible. Who wants to take that home with them?
Right. Right.
You
And
know?
I did notice that when he would make jokes, which he did often, usually when they were coming out of a break or going into a break, Paul never laughed. Paul never even
No,
smiled.
what the defense attorneys did, Monica often
Monica
did,
did a couple
snickered.
times. Yep.
Andy Murray would laugh or
Yep.
just guffaw, especially just recently, the one with the, I think I can jump up and hit the light.
Yeah.
And one of the, and somebody else, one of the paralegals, or I think it might have been Nicole Walson, says, "Let's see." And Monica just turns around and looks, and she's got this big grin on her face. Like, I'd like to see that. Like, you're going to fall on your butt. Like, that's going to be good.
Right.
But you have to remember, for the attorneys and all, this is a job, and like they're used to it. And there's such a thing as dark humor too. In the darkest nights of the most horrible things we have to deal with, there's always that one person who breaks the tension with an off-color joke or something that shouldn't be said. And are we not all grateful to bring humanity back into the situation and just make that cloud go away a little bit? I'm guilty of it a lot myself. I have a nervous laugh whenever anything happens, like, or something in the middle of a murder trial, just, it'll hit my funny bone. I'm sorry. It just will. And it's not that I take it, that it's not serious, or that I shouldn't be taking things, to heart about the whole thing. But if we don't do that, how could we ever do more than one trial in our whole life? Like, seriously, would it not collapse us as people? Like,
Yeah. No, I agree. We use humor a lot in our chat as well. And I think most of our chat is okay with that. There's some people that may, be offended by it, but you have to bring humor. Like you said, it's a very,
and
very
it is,
dark subject.
and that's okay too, because if they're at that moment, they might be thinking about Jesse or Sophia, or they might have small children and they might be all teared up. Like, we have to give grace to those people too, that are just like, that might be a little offended, because like, we're not where they're at that moment.
True.
Like, and then we just ask them to give us a little grace too, that maybe we're past that moment. Like, we had that moment already, and now we have to recover, and a little laugh is going to help us.
Right.
Like we all need to give grace to people for that. That's why I say two sides, like more than two sides to every story. Absolutely. And just give grace to everyone, because we're not where they're at the time.
Yeah.
Who knows? They may have just heard about Jesse. And then I would agree, if you just heard about Jesse, how could you possibly laugh?
Right.
If you just heard about the condition of Sophia's body, how could you laugh? But if you're past that, if you've been dealing with it for a little while, if it's not just happened to you, that's when these things happen. And a judge like this, experienced, like, he's seen it all.
Right.
Like, he's seen it all. And he just doesn't want the jury to keep wearing. And also, it keeps the jury unbiased. Let's look at it clinically and logically. It's not his job to keep everything on track to where they don't make a decision right away. I think he actually cracked more jokes after the medical examiner's reports, because he needs to. He needs to refocus that jury not to make a decision based on what they just heard. They got to wait till everything's in. How do you do that? You got to get them off track.
Right.
You have to reset them. You have to do something unexpected.
I would agree. And if anything to add to that, I would be, if anything, it keeps them sharp too. It keeps them, instead of just being weighted down, he cracks a joke and you get shaken out of wherever you are. And you're like, just, it creates that moment of, a balance, right? It just creates that balance, and it maybe sharpens your focus a little bit too,
I mean, even before they read the charging instructions, I think somebody in the chat just mentioned it, about changing his glasses to see if he looked smarter. And the whole jury said no. Like, they said it out loud to him. Like, they have that repertoire. They're like, no, it didn't work. Like, that's just the human effect. It made it seem like he's like, I'm with you. I'm not lording it over you. Like, I have to keep it straight, but I'm with you. You. I know how hard this is for you guys. Yeah.
Right. I was going to say something too. Oh, you were saying, that, maybe some people are past and other people are coming in to like we're with Jesse and Sophia or whatever, I find myself having those moments, like getting teary-eyed about it, then past it and then coming back to it. So I mean, you're not, just because you're over it, to me, I'm never over it. I can
Right.
handle
It's like
it for moments.
we're all in different parts of it at different times. We're all having
Right.
different reactions to it at different times. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because I don't think you never ever get over
No,
8-year-old and
no,
11-year-old brutally getting
no.
annihilated,
I
So,
barely made it through the medical examiner's testimony, and I've been dealing with this for at least 6 years.
yeah.
And like off and on, like constantly, going
Mhm.
through the evidence and hearing go the hearings and stuff like that. All of the articles from the beginning. I mean, yeah, how do you actually ever get over anything like that? No,
Mhm. Yep.
no. And
Yep.
that's why I really feel for the family. And that's the thing about our justice system. This is the one thing you can do for them, the one little closure
Right.
that you can give them.
I agree. There's a couple more questions with the verdict. Is there anything else in here we want to listen to? I think it's pretty much over, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. I just want to make sure we answer whatever questions, anything we can do to help. If
Yeah. No, this is a good one. JMS, why do you think the jurors wanted to look at that knife again? So on top of that, they had the two questions. Well, actually, they had more than two questions, but the one together, the two questions together were, why isn't there a charge account 10? And then we want to look at the knife, and because the knife was 11 and 12. So in my mind, I was like, oh, they've gone through the first 9 charges. So what did
they
you think?
eliminated one of them that had to do, like, it might have been inferred like he had it with him with the intent to murder.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why it was eliminated. And the more I looked into it, that
Mm-hmm.
I think that happened during charging instructions
Mm-hmm.
between the
Yeah,
attorneys
yeah,
and the judge. Yeah.
yeah. Because I had that in my notes too. The day before,
Mhm,
2 days before, when they were doing it, yeah, they eliminated
And
10.
I don't think it's that odd to look at the knife, because there were charges on it that they have to actually
Yeah.
decide, number one. And they heard the ME report, they heard about the depth of things and everything, and then just to see the knife again to make sure it wasn't something he could have brought with him,
Mm-hmm.
that he actually was a knife of opportunity there. Did he
Mm-hmm.
wield it unlawfully with intent? Absolutely.
Right.
And I think they just needed to see it just to verify that you wouldn't just be carrying that thing around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
Well, to me, the order of those two questions, why is there no count 10? And then let's see the knife. And the knife just happened to be counts 11 and 12. I'm like, oh, they've gone through counts 1 through 9.
Yeah, we
You
knew
know?
it was coming soon after that. At least I thought so. Did you?
Uh,
Because
yeah.
I was like, yep, they are going down the list, especially when they wanted to see. We didn't even talk about the first question. Right off the bat, within an hour, they want to see the videos of the car coming and going. Is
Mm-hmm.
it possible? First thing in their mind is, did they actually prove that Paul Caneiro was there, that was not home when he said he was, and could
Mm-hmm.
have been there? Like,
Mm-hmm.
they wanted to see that right away. And they focused right in on the lights,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
which were very distinct, and no doubt about it. Once you zeroed in on the defining fact of that one light,
Mm-hmm.
you could basically say, I didn't see his face, I didn't get an ID, I don't have a license plate number, but damn, how
Mm-hmm.
many Porsches rental with that mark on, like that light structure with that damage would there
Mm-hmm.
be? And he just happens to have one in his driveway that looks
Mm-hmm.
just like it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Game over.
Yeah.
Game over.
Game over.
There were so
Yeah.
many moments of game over, and that certainly was one of them.
But they got it. They got it, and they just wanted to make sure it clicked. Like,
Yeah.
double
Yeah.
check. Yeah.
All right, let's see. Here's another one. JMS, what do you think about the verdict coming in less time than the state's closing, which was about 5.5 hours? Yeah, it was 4.5 hours. Is that what it was? The final 4 hours and 25 minutes, something like. Here, let me just
Oh,
check.
the state. I've never been through a state closing that was like that, and I was surprised. But in a way, it was good because he got to go over everything that the defense had put out there and just kind of knock it away, and
Yeah.
then just make sure they understood, because the closing is a story. It's
Mhm.
how you get to actually say, instead of presenting the evidence, you have to say why you're presenting it, what it meant, and how you got there, and how it fits the story.
Mhm.
Being able to say, this is why we did this is why we did that, and this led to this, and this is like,
Mhm.
this is how we got here. It made it, so easy to digest and understand. And then
Mhm.
it's their job to go and make sure the evidence matches the story, which
Mhm.
unfortunately for the defense, the evidence does not match the story they put out. And
Mhm.
fortunately for the defense, it kind of matched perfectly.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Paula, I think, said she went back and checked, and it was 30 minutes after that question. That's when the verdict came in. So
Well, those questions came in before lunch and were answered. We just didn't get to see it.
the one with the no count. Oh, yeah, that's right. Count 10
Hmm.
and the knife. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Because Judge
So,
said,
yeah.
yeah, questions came in at lunchtime, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, it was
Yeah.
4 hours, 57 minutes they took to deliberate, and the state was 5.5 hours. So
Yeah, I can't, that was long. I mean, you guys said that you've been through closing arguments that took days, and I was amazed.
mhm.
I've never had that experience yet. Like, this was the longest for me.
Just that one time, Monica Sementili out in California,
Mm.
and yeah, Beth Silverman took 3 days for her openings, but she got in a car accident day 2, so there's that. But then I think her closings were definitely longer, and I think those were like 11 hours over the course of 2 days, 2 or 3 days, yeah. And then the
Wow.
defense, I think, was 8 hours. I think then they were 8 hours. So that was, yeah, that was a marathon for sure.
I'm not a fan of long drawn out uh openings or closings.
Hmm. I think 11 hours is excessive, but there was a lot of evidence, and I love
I
Beth
think
Silverman, but she hit
I
on
I do,
every
I think the
single point.
risk of losing a jury is great in those
Yeah,
situations. If
yeah, yeah.
I'm just, I can only come from it from my perspective. If I was sitting in that chair, I don't care what story you're telling. I don't want to hear it for 5 hours. Like, cut
Hmm.
it out. Like, this
Yeah.
is 2026. This is the age of swipe right, 2-minute videos. This is the age of everything available and at my fingertips in a minute. You are not keeping my attention for 5.5 hours in a courtroom. You're not.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I had a hard time staying awake. And I love Christopher Decker. I think he's
Hmm.
witty and charming. He's a barracuda when it comes to cross. But
Right.
did he bore me to death? Yes. I
Mhm.
was trying to resuscitate myself a few times.
I agree. I agree. I really liked when he started to do the timeline. I wish he had done more like
I
that.
wish I would have saw that during trial. The arrows with the time on it, and this led to
Yeah,
this, and yeah,
yeah,
with
yeah,
the little,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And
yes,
and then just stayed with that instead of, like, it just seemed like he kept circling back, circling back, circling back, and it's like, wait, we've heard that like 3 times now. Just that would have been my only, I hate to say it, critique,
yeah,
if you will, but
yeah,
I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's been doing this for what,
yeah.
20 years or
And
something.
he did have to spend a bit of time on the Corey issue because defense
Mhm.
put it way out there in closing,
Yeah.
and I'm glad he addressed it, like, the whole why of it, like, and
Hmm.
the whole how of it,
Yeah.
to show that even if this absurd thing that they're saying is even remotely possible, it
Hmm.
doesn't mean Paul Caneiro's not guilty. It just means he had help.
Right, 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 exactly, yeah, we were talking about that a lot. It's like you're still saying that Paul's guilty, you're just saying that he had a conspirator, he had somebody with him, your
Yeah, yeah.
defense, you're not saying that, they never once really pushed that
Well,
thought away. If anything, they were bringing that thought in of, like, Andy
that
Murray saying, "Do you know if the SUV stopped to pick people up?" Well, who's
yeah,
driving it then,
yeah, and, not even contesting that it's his vehicle.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
nobody came in there and said how many Porsche Commands there were actually in Monmouth County. It's a rich county. I'm sure there's more than Paul's. Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't counter it at all. You see, that was my problem with the defense. They were so good in litigation and in pre-trial with
Mhm.
fighting everything. And
Mhm.
literally every one of their defense witnesses in everything they put forward literally only helped the state, in my
Mhm.
humble opinion, in most
Mhm.
cases.
Mhm.
Like, even their arguments, like, going round and round, and they would
Yeah.
say something, and I'm like, "How is that helping you?" Like,
Mhm.
just like, that's more for the state.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to argue that. I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, we got a couple more here. Let's see. JMS again. You got here late. Oh, what did you think about the quick verdict? First of all, did you think that was a quick verdict? Were you
I thought
surprised?
that they would, I thought just for appearances that they
Mhm.
would come in Tuesday morning and take, I knew they had made up their mind very quickly.
Mhm.
Just, I mean, how could they not?
Mhm.
We all sat through the same trial, and I think they had a pretty good idea. To think that they don't as it's going on is just a misnomer. Like, you're not supposed to, and supposed to
Mhm.
keep an open mind, but every piece of evidence is helping them make a decision. Everything leading forward and coming together. So I think they were pretty much there. I am
Mhm.
surprised at how they were all there together right
Mhm.
away.
Mhm.
Right away.
Mhm.
Um,
So you still think it was a quick verdict, though? You think that was quick verdict?
5 hours is quick. 5
Yeah.
hours, yeah. Yes, listen,
Well,
anything less than a day is almost always guilty. I don't know a quick verdict for not guilty,
yeah,
actually.
that's true. And to get through that verdict form alone probably took them an hour.
That's what I'm saying, like, the
You know?
paperwork alone in charging instructions in New Jersey is like,
Yeah.
bleh, and there's 5 or 6 questions for every charge.
Yep.
Right? Like, and you have to answer them all, and you have to
Mhm.
take the steps and go through. You have to
Mhm.
assign a value to what you think the theft was, the pecuniary values. You have to
Mhm.
actually decide on the arson charges. Like, yeah, there was a
Mhm.
lot. I mean, that was a lot of charges. I mean, they
Yeah.
threw everything at him. Well,
Yep.
because of the case that it was all rightly so. He did do all that, but
Right.
there was a lot of extra charging in there based on the situation, like,
Mhm.
based on the why he did it and how he did it, like the extra weapons charges and the age of the victims, in the enhancement of arson, and the covering up of the crime.
Mhm.
Yeah, all additional charges. So even if he got off with, like, say, the murder, we would still never see Paul. He would still never see the light of day with everything
Mhm.
else,
Right.
you know.
Right. Yeah, I guess, well, they say rule of thumb is for every, what's it, every hour? No, for every day, that's how long they'll deliberate. So theoretically, they should have deliberated, 8, not, wait, 19 hours? No. Or is it half? I guess it's half. So it'd be like 8 hours, 8 or 9
I was
hours.
thinking, yeah, I was thinking more Tuesday morning. I thought they would
Yeah.
come in, you know, maybe ask a question and then do a verdict before lunch and get out of there and enjoy the rest of their week. But they
Mhm.
decided they didn't want anything to do with it for the weekend. They were done.
Yeah.
They were done,
Well, they
you
probably
know.
did a straw poll. They probably all got together, straw poll, and they said, "Yeah, he's guilty." So
Oh, to be,
don't need to convince me, right? You know?
I so want to be a fly in that room.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Because, the way I picture it in my mind, is that the first go around is just already there, all of them
Mhm.
saying guilty. And they're
Mhm.
saying, okay, now we got to do diligence and be sure. Anybody have any questions?
Mhm.
Well, I was just wondering, are we absolutely sure about the light? Or, like,
Mhm.
and about this chart. And I don't think the questions actually came up till they actually were looking at the verdict sheet and getting ready
Mhm.
to fill everything out.
Mhm.
So I actually just have it pictured in my mind. They took that little first poll and everybody said guilty, because this
Mhm.
really went fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see. I hope that somebody gives an interview at some point down the road. So, all right, we have 2 Corey questions. One is, was Corey there? And
No.
he was not there. Yeah, he was not
If he
there.
was, I didn't recognize him. Corey
Yeah.
looks more similar to Keith, but, like, older than the pictures you see now because it's been a while. But he
Mhm.
used to shave his head just like Keith, pretty
Mhm.
much. In
Mhm.
the last picture I saw of him, he did have a shaved head, but he was kind of scruffy bearded at the time, like, just unshaven. Not that he was growing a beard, but just, like, needed a shave.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. Rough, rough and tumble.
rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jennifer, do you think Corey will ever do an interview?
I have two minds on that too. I've
I
got two
know.
versions of that answer.
We would love to. We would love for him to tie up all these loose ends that we have
Yes, the
and
true
hear his side of
crime
the
buff.
story.
The true crime buff is dying to hear Corey do an extensive interview. And Corey, if you're listening, contact me.
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
but the other side of it, don't do it, Corey. It's not
Mhm.
it's not worth messing up your life. Whatever they think, you're never going to get any good publicity out of it. The people just want to damn you because you were the beneficiary. Just stay away from it. Walk away.
Yeah.
Do the Jersey thing. Say forget about it. Just go on. Yeah.
Right. Well, it's kind of that same question of should he have taken the stand? Yes, we wanted him to as
Yeah.
true crime junkies, but
Mhm.
no, that
But
would
probably not in his best interest at all.
yeah.
At all.
Yep.
I mean, he
agreed.
doesn't need the money, so why do the interview? Like,
Yeah.
really?
No, it would
What
just be
people think, yeah.
yeah, to satisfy our desire to know his side of the story, you know.
And it's really none of our business. We got no business being in Corey Caneiro's life whatsoever, do we, people? Like, he's got
Mm,
nothing to do with this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, you're right. You're right. Green Eye Cat. Oh, did we ever hear from Paul Corey Keith's parents' position? Are they still alive? Are they still around?
I think his father is. I may have heard that his mother passed.
Mhm.
You mean on, on the Caneiro side of the family?
Yeah,
No, we
yeah.
do hear more on Jennifer's side because of the civil lawsuit, which is
Right.
it was paused
Mhm.
until the conclusion of this,
Okay.
and we will see what happens there. But actually, I think this conclusion actually helps Corey very much because,
Mhm.
I mean, why is he at fault for just being chosen to be a beneficiary? I mean,
Mhm.
that's not even, as upset as everybody is about the situation and what happened. How does that fall on Corey to do anything about it?
Mhm.
Like,
I hope that those civil lawsuits and Jennifer's family is okay with Corey and doesn't go after him for any wrongful death or anything like
they
that.
they're going after him for misappropriation of the trust because he became the handler of the trust. I
S-
think, yeah,
So they're going to try and get money out of him?
it does look that way. Yes.
Yeah, that's a shame. Well, because he had nothing to do with it, you know?
In the long and short of it, I understand how they feel. The whole
Yeah.
situation is wrong. They see greed, they see this, they see that. I
Mhm.
understand where they're coming from,
Mhm.
but Corey can't be blamed for being a beneficiary of a life insurance. That is the person who put that in their life insurance policy.
Yeah.
He clearly made it known that if his wife and his kids weren't around, his
Mhm.
brothers would get that. That's how he
Mhm.
felt.
Yeah.
That's what we got to follow. In
Mhm.
however any of us feel about it, especially the families, whether he deserves it or not, is moot. Your
Mhm.
opinion about it does not matter. It's not the way it is. That is
Mhm.
what Keith wanted. You don't get to rewrite it after the fact. Only Keith
Right.
does.
Right.
And that's hard to take when you've lost your whole family, when
Mhm.
your grandchildren don't have a future anymore. And you
Mhm.
know that Keith's intention was to take care of his family.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
understand to see anybody profiting from it would be distasteful at the least. Maybe
Mhm.
they want to put the money in the kids' names for some kind of foundation or something.
Mhm.
I'm hoping that Corey and Jennifer's family can come to a reasonable conclusion of what to do
Yeah.
with the money that's still being made by the businesses, because now that Paul has been convicted,
Mhm.
now Corey can sell the businesses and stuff, but only in light of the trust. Okay, well, trust
Mhm.
issues have to be settled. But now we have Paul's family to deal with. Susan and the daughters also have a
Mhm.
vested interest.
Yep.
I would not be surprised if we don't see another civil suit.
I feel sorry for Corey because he's like, I didn't do anything. And here I am. Here I am in the middle. Here I am caught in the
Right
middle.
now, he's like, "Thanks, Keith. Thanks for the money." But man, the headache that comes with it is whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
And I know that's like making light of the situation, but honestly, if you were in his position, I think that's
Yeah.
how you'd feel.
He's
Yeah.
he's literally like, what did I do to deserve this? I'm literally just, you know,
I mean,
stuck in the middle here.
he got his share of the life insurance fair and square, and they're
Right.
actually contesting the fact that he bought a mansion. Like,
Right.
of course he did. He wants to live in that area, and that's how expensive those houses are. And
Mhm.
it doesn't like mean he doesn't have a mortgage or anything. He just had a nice down payment now.
Right.
Like, why shouldn't his life improve if the money is available?
Right.
And I know that everybody says, well, it just looks bad. But how is he responsible for that? Like, he
Mhm.
didn't murder that
Right.
family.
Right. Right. No, yeah, he had nothing to do with it. Literally just innocent bystander. And now he's just getting hammered from all sides, you know?
Listen, I have brothers, and I just know I don't want to be blamed or judged for everything they did when they were adolescents and growing up and all the women they dated or whatever they did. Like, leave me alone about it. It ain't me.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
them. You know,
Right.
it's the
Right.
same. It's the same. Like, why would Corey be blamed for what like Paul did? Like, but for them, it's the same situation. Their daughter's gone. Their grandchildren are gone. Their futures are
Mhm.
non-existent anymore.
Mhm.
It's a tough situation all around.
Mhm.
You know.
I agree. I agree. I do feel sorry for him. Paul
Yeah.
asks, I was going to say, Paula asks about Monica and Mr. Murray. Do they work together? Are they partners in a law firm?
I thought they were in separate law firms,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure. When
Mhm.
you're a public defender and you go, I mean, I do believe Monica was the head, so she had to add him to the team. So they must have
Mhm.
some kind of association,
Mhm.
or it could be just as random as he was the next number up and she
Mhm.
needed a second chair. It's a big
Mhm.
case.
Mhm.
I
That's
don't know of any other cases they've done together. Nothing's come across
Mhm.
my my in my travels of the court
Mhm.
system over there. But I will
Mhm.
look now that you asked because
Mhm.
I hate not knowing something, and now I want to know where Andy Murray came from.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. No, that's interesting because yeah, here you are trying a trial, and then you've got to just you randomly this guy's or whoever is given to you in your first chair, and it's now you have to
Mhm.
play nice with this
I,
person. You probably know
I,
them, right? I mean,
I,
they all
yeah,
swim in the same circles, right?
they do, and I hadn't really researched Andy Murray because when I was watching pre-trial, when we were doing the star mix, when we were doing the evidence and
Mhm.
everything, that was more Chris Godden or Gobbin, and I
Mhm.
researched him because he's actually in the public defender's office. He's a forensic scientist in there,
Mhm.
and he could actually argue the arguments like even better than their expert witness. Why they didn't have him there, I don't know.
Mhm.
They should have had him there. They could have
Mhm.
really did more damage, in front of a jury,
Mhm. Yeah,
you
maybe
know?
was it budget or was it he wasn't
Or
available?
he may have been transferred, I don't know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
everything got shaken up in that office. Everybody got moved around and everything because of, some people leaving and stuff like that. It was like
Mhm.
so it's hard to say, but those were good. I have to say pretrial was really interesting in this case. And because you did a lot of the replay
Yeah.
and
Yeah, from what
there
we
was
saw.
some fireworks, there was some good legal stuff going on back and
Mhm.
forth. Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah.
Agreed. All right, we have two more questions, and then we'll go forward to the press conference.
Okay.
Green Eye Cat asks, "Do you have an opinion on Monica and Paul coordinating their outfits?" I've never actually seen that before. That's kind of the first one that I can remember.
I gave her I thought that was good solidarity. If it did
Mhm.
nothing for the jury, it at least told Paul, "This is it, and I'm on your side. Like
Mhm.
this is the day. This is when we find out, but I'm on your side.
Mhm.
I'm standing with you. I don't care that people know that we're right here. I'm with you." And
Mhm.
I think that that was a good thing to do as an attorney
Mhm.
in the
They did it
situation.
multiple times. It wasn't just one time. And Mr. Murray joined in as well. His tie would coordinate. They did it several times.
I mean, if you think of it, visually what he does to you, it represents team. We're in it
Mhm.
together. I'm on his
Absolutely.
side. I
Yep.
represent him. I'm not ashamed of saying he didn't do it. Like I really think he didn't it
True.
sent a message without using the words. And
Mhm.
I whether she feels that or means that or whatever, I just applaud her for using it because it's great optics. And
Mhm.
definitely defense attorneys should do it more often.
Yeah.
Because without saying anything to the jury, you're saying something to the jury.
Right. And it was subtle. It was subtle. It was like an accent here, a shirt here. It wasn't like they all came in blazing red or, everybody was, draped in the same color.
Mhm.
Well, what I'm saying? It was, in my opinion, it was subtle. So, um,
Much more subtle than her first 2 outfits were all those sparkles and glitters. I was just like, "Oh, Monica, no, 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 please." Now everybody's gonna think we're all like that in Jersey again.
I liked actually I liked her outfits. I think that the black one, the sparkle one, I think I said Back in the day, I would have worn that. Back in my rock and roll days, I would have.
Yeah, I just have a problem. Yeah, but that's what you mean back in the day, because that's what I hear all the time. It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
you're from Jersey, and all they think is big hair bands, Bon Jovi, glitter, and girls with big nails and big poofy hair. And I'm like, it's not like that. Then if it's not that, it's the Sopranos. Like, yeah,
Yeah. Well, don't forget Bruce. Do have Bruce.
we do have Bruce. Yes, we do. Yes.
All right, JMS. Yeah, they didn't show him. Yeah, right. Let's get to that because they should have like handcuffed him straight away, and they don't. Right? They just kind of
No,
let him.
at the end they do. At the very end, if you watch to the very end, you can watch him get waistbanded and
That's true.
ready
Yeah,
to leave
here's.
out. Yeah. You go all the way to the end before you go to the press conference, and they will be able to see him handcuffed. The officer belts him around, real security. He's now a convicted murderer.
All right, so
He
here
gets
he
the full
is.
treatment.
Yeah.
Leg bands, the whole thing.
Yep.
He's got everything with him.
Yep. And I thought they fingerprinted him. Like when we watched Sarah Boone, they fingerprinted her again. I'm pretty sure Donna Adelson.
In New Jersey, I don't think they do it in the courtroom. Remember, he's going to Monmouth County right now because he can't go to state right away. Like he's got sentencing on May 12th. I don't know if he's going to stay in Monmouth County until May 12th or if they'll transfer him to state. But the Monmouth County prison is right behind this courthouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So this is sentencing. So that's the new district attorney, right? You were saying
that's the head guy. It's not new. It's Raymond Santiago. He is, remember, Christopher Decker's assisting.
Right.
Deputy prosecutor. And this is the prosecutor for Monmouth County, like the head guy. He's Christopher Decker and Nicole Wallace's boss.
Okay. And here comes Decker. All right. We'll check this out and then is there anything else you want to talk? Oh, I mean, we can always talk more about the verdict, but is there anything else before we start the press conference?
No. I mean, I just want to answer questions. I mean, I guess I'm just suffering from relief. I'm actually not talking as much as usual. I mean, I talk a lot. I know this. I know about myself.
That's okay. It's been a
long
long day.
It's the end of it. It's just like,
Yeah. No, I agree. There's always that down feeling or whatever. All right, here they come. Now, this is not a walk of shame. All right, here I'll put the volume up.
And the paralegals too. Everybody.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. I missed this. I did not see this. I'm going to play this all the way through, and we can talk about it.
And you'll only see the Caneiro family in the back. A lot of them.
Okay.
A lot of them.
Okay. All right.
Before you start, thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Prosecutor Raymond Santiago from the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office. I came out today to make a statement. I will not be answering any questions because this is, as you all know, one step in the judicial process. I'm going to wait until the day of sentencing on May 12th to answer questions and to make further statements. Today, as you all know, the jury returned a verdict of guilty on all charges. I have to thank the jury for the attention, the consideration, and the seriousness of which they took for this case. We knew from the very beginning that we would follow the evidence, and that's exactly what we did in this case. I want to thank the investigators, all of the court advocates, paralegals, my prosecutors, for the dedication, the professionalism, and the seriousness in which they took this case from its inception. They allowed the evidence to dictate the proofs, and that's what they presented in court today. And the jury agreed that beyond a reasonable doubt that Paul Caneiro was guilty of all charges. I know the impact that this has had, not only on the family, friends, and the community at large in Monmouth County. But Keith, Jennifer, Jesse, Sophia have waited for over 7 years for accountability to come forward. And on behalf of them and the family, our thoughts will remain with them as the healing process can start as we go through the judicial system. In no particular order, I do want to thank all of the work that was done on behalf of the Colts Neck Police Department, the Ocean Township Police Department, the Monmouth County Sheriff's Office, the Prosecutor's Office, New Jersey State Police, the FBI, ATF, the Engineering Department, all the Fire Marshal, all of the investigators who took their time to make sure that this case was thoroughly investigated without bias, without favor. Our system of justice requires citizens to come forward and to give up their time to make sure that due process works here in Monmouth County. And today with this verdict, it did. The rule of law prevailed today. With that, I would ask that you respect the privacy of the family as they now start this process of healing and going through unraveling what has been happening through them for their entire time. I thank them for being here and being a part of this process. Their presence was a necessity to make sure that justice was served. To all my staff, again, I thank them so much for the work that they've put forward in this case. And thank you very much. Good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we know who the woman in green is? She seems pretty important. Do you know who she is?
No, I think she might be an assistant deputy director also. Like,
Yeah, maybe she's like right at his side, right? And then there's a guy next to her.
yeah.
I can.
They may have been some of the original prosecutors on the team that worked with the other prosecutor in the beginning.
Yeah.
No,
Like
so
those-
I'll have to research. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, just because they seem very prominent, and I mean,
But
obviously,
you
Dexter.
see, in New Jersey, do you see how also those that could right now be celebrating, they are keeping it tight-lipped right now till after sentencing and appeal. They
Mhm.
don't want anything said or done to interfere with any more delays in this case or anything like that.
Right.
Because it does happen. It would give them the ability to write motions, Don't forget, there was a huge pretrial motion to get the change of venue because they thought there was too much prejudice in this area against Paul Caneiro for this trial.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's no, it's a subtle victory dance.
Sure, understood.
Yeah.
Somebody, I forget who now. I'm sorry, I missed it in chat. Somebody said there one of the friends talked, and it was News 12, Jersey 12.
Mhm.
Was that?
It may have been.
I don't see it on YouTube. I hope it wasn't on a website or something. Let me see. I think it was Steven. Steven, were you the one that said that? If you're still with us? I'm not seeing it on. I'm on their YouTube page. I'm not seeing it. Because I would love to. Okay, let me see what else. Let's see. We'll just try real quick. Paul Caneiro. Is there anything else? Okay, that's the statement. That's another statement from a different angle. I don't care about that. All right. Well, it's okay, I guess. Yeah. All right. So I guess that's it, right? Then they walk away. That's it. What's this person do?
Works here in Monmouth County.
Right. And they just kind of walk away. So that's okay. Yeah. So this is all the family, obviously. Yep. Such respect for the family, you know?
Thank you all.
All right, so that's that. All right.
Oh, that was pretty short and sweet. Nothing.
It was. Yeah, you're right. Tight-lipped until sentencing, and then they'll have a full, a more
It'll
full.
be interesting to see what happens from now till May 12th. What people are out there saying, what articles appear in the press,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. We'll see what news of the Netflix docuseries, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because here in Monmouth County, they bought land in Fort Monmouth when the military left Fort Monmouth open. And actually, Netflix has a huge production campus going on there. So you're like, maybe they'll actually produce it here too. That would be pretty cool. Well, we'll see. I mean, not that they've said that. This is just me throwing it out there, hoping Netflix is listening and decides to do it. You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hold on, just give me a moment. Let me see if I can.
There
find-
was some questions in the chat about the trust in about the ability to profit, like for Susan's family and all of that. But like, I think the Slayer laws actually, like somebody adequate, correctly stated that the Slayer laws are going to prevent Susan and the children's claim to anything, even the selling of the businesses,
Mhm.
because
I see.
Paul can't profit from killing Keith. And even though they were in business with the Echo Star 50/50, not that those businesses are being valued in anything right now. They may not be totally dissolved, but
Mhm.
if they weren't making money before all this happened, like I can't even imagine they're making any money now. I just think everything was in a holding pattern until this gets settled. But Keith being the primary owner, like
Sorry.
of the other business, I think that all goes to the estate. Now, there's rumored I have to find out, but without having the estate document, no. But Keith's father, Caesar, is also mentioned that if anything happens with the brothers, that the father also would be a benefit of some of his estate, not necessarily the life. Remember, the life insurance is only part of the estate.
Mhm.
The estate is everything Keith owned. The land where his house was, okay, his house, his possessions, his the businesses, all of it.
Mhm.
And that's kind of what they're all fighting over in the civil court too.
Sorry. Okay, so yeah, thank you, Jenny. Yeah, I just found this myself. This is not the interview, though.
Oh,
Right.
is it the friend?
It's
Yeah.
just a recap. It's just a recap from Jersey 12. Yeah, it's not the interview with the friend. It's right before they came out to give that press conference. So it's not the actual. I think Stephen said there was an interview with the friend, and I don't see that here. All right. Yeah, no interview. Yep, no interview. All right, that's okay. And Stephen, thank you for supporting us. I think it was buy me a cup of coffee. Appreciate that, Stephen. Thank you. All right. All right. I'm exhausted. I don't know about you, but this has been it's been a fun trial in the sense of being able to talk to somebody afterwards. Like Aaron and I
It
talked
is.
for us
It
all
makes it
day, but it's
really
also
enjoyable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a chance, like at your house? Do you have a chance to talk to anybody? Well,
I
during the videos you talk, right? Obviously.
I do
Yeah.
get I do the videos. I do have a family member that is kind of sort of above, but I actually have a whole Discord of people who love to talk trials and stuff, and friends
Mhm.
who are lawyers, and a particular one or two friends that have been following legal cases with me for about 10 years. We
Mhm.
talk regularly. Like I do get to talk to somebody every day about it, so it's not all stuck in my head. But
Mhm.
this has been really enjoyable because it's nice to hear other perspectives. Your chat is wonderful with the questions and their perspectives, and
Mhm.
they help key into things that may not have even occurred to me,
Mhm.
or something that they saw that I didn't see, like.
Right.
So I really love it. I do kind of miss live, so this has been a real treat. So I thank you for that, Chris. It's
Mhm.
really been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, good. Yeah, everybody's saying how much they love you and thank you, and Yeah, I echo that sentiment. This has been
I
great. You have a very knowledgeable, in-depth perspective, not only just being there, a native, if you will, but just in trials in
yeah.
general. And
I I
yeah,
think it's
awesome.
just my love of legal. It's just like, I always make the joke, like I do read legal briefs with breakfast over coffee every day.
Yeah,
Like,
nice.
and I'm not a lawyer. I never claimed to be. I'm just a woman named Bear with a mic. That's it. That's my skill level. Okay. But I do love it. I do have a passion for it. I have to say an extreme hobby, these legal briefs, and I really like to see law change, which
Mhm.
is why I'm going to be following you on this great case because wow, there's a lot of room for precedent to be changed here.
There is a lot,
A
and Crumbly
lot.
started it, whenever that was a couple years ago in Michigan, and now this is the second one. So yeah, it'll be
Mhm.
interesting. So we'll have to connect and see. We'll get some recaps going with that as well. If are you gonna
Yeah,
you're gonna
any
watch it and follow it? And
I have 23 there's 23 cases that I'm following right now.
okay,
I'm probably you know what? I am glad that your channel and that I met you, that your channel exists
mhm,
because I can go someplace and have the experience of watching it and learning all about the trial without the hype,
mhm,
without all the extra, stuff that like I can't watch some of these larger channels because of
I
all
know.
that. I just want the information and I want to be with people and
Yep.
talk about it. And you offer that space, and I
Mhm.
absolutely adore it. So no, I won't have to do too much. I'll do like minimal research and
Well,
actually just enjoy it as a true crime junkie in your chat for a little while, because like I do Clenny and Mangi. I mean, just Mangione alone is making me insane. In
mhm,
I got Rex Harriman coming up, and
mhm,
I actually follow a lot of trials you can't watch live,
mhm,
which involves a lot of digging and a lot of reviewing of files in articles in trying to get the real dirt from attorneys.
mhm.
So it takes up a lot of time.
That's great. I was gonna
So
say that's great you have that time because my sole focus is the lives, and then
yeah.
I'm here from 9 to 5, 8:30 to 4:30, whatever it
Yeah, and
is.
that
So
takes dedication. That takes a lot of dedication. If people don't say what that actually takes to sit in that chair for 8 hours and do that, like, I give
mhm,
you a lot of credit. I've
yeah.
done that for Murdaugh, and I did that for, Johnny Depp,
Mhm.
and I needed a vacation afterwards, like, I did. I did.
It's
Yeah.
well, it's a
Uh,
passion and I love it. When you love I love waking up in the morning and, oh, it's day
oh,
2 of Paul Caneiro, or
yeah.
whatever, day 1 of, Colin, Gray. So, I mean, and then sharing that community with, folks like you and
Yeah.
in our
It
chat and our mods and Aaron. I mean, it's it's
yeah.
it's one of those
It really
situations where I'm so grateful and happy that
well,
I
yeah, and you're so
did.
appreciated. You
Yeah,
got such a great chat, and they appreciate what you're doing. You're giving them a space to experience, and it goes a long way. So, like,
yeah, yeah.
definitely bravo on that. But I got a question for you, a little off topic. A
Sure,
little off
sure,
topic. What
sure.
do you think about Murdaugh possibly getting a retrial?
Well, it's all because of, Becky, right? What is it? What was her name?
Yes and no. Did you happen to watch the hearing, the Supreme Court hearing
I
yesterday? I
I
might
m
email
I
it to
missed
you.
it. I missed it. Well, because it's always been all
Oh,
Paul
I'm
Caneiro.
gonna I'm gonna email it to you because
Alright,
whoa, I
okay.
mean, just like you're another mind that kind of picks up on these little legal things here and there, and
Mhm,
just the questions that the Supreme Court asked, it really didn't have anything to do with Becky.
okay. I
I was
thought
surprised, like, when everything else came up, I was like,
interesting.
"Oh, there's gonna be." I actually, I'll make you a nickel bet right here. There's gonna be a retrial.
Wow, okay. Alright. That's gonna be really interesting. That's gonna be really interesting because
And I miss Judge
everybody's gonna cover
Newman so much. Like, Judge Newman's one of my favorites.
that.
Like,
Mhm.
he's such a jovial, serious but jovial man. Stretch breaks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Was he the one
Yeah.
that brang the jury? Is that him? Brang the jury? Is that him?
Hang the jury,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
and
him, yeah.
stretch. Everybody stand up, stretch, no talking, just move. Let's go, deep breath. Yes, I loved him. Yes.
He
But
was
that was
great.
a great trial. That also had like the prosecutor who picked up a weapon and aimed it like all over the courtroom
Uh-huh,
without gloves and kept touching the evidence without gloves. It's like,
yeah.
man, he drove me
Was it
crazy.
him or was it Harputin or whatever? I thought it was Putin that did that.
Putin did something similar, but no, it was like John. Oh, what was his last name? He makes me crazy.
I forget. Yeah.
But Creighton Waters is one of the most animated prosecutors out there. I love watching his enthusiasm in the courtroom. He's still one of my favorite prosecutors, actually, Creighton Waters. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll you know what? I'll email you the link to the
Please.
actual Supreme Court put it up on their
Okay.
website. If it's still there, I'll send it to you. It's worth a little look. But,
all right. All right, cool. Well, are you going to do have you done a video on it? Are you going to do one? I'll just watch yours.
Well, here's my theory. I probably will, because my thing is, if it goes into appeal or it's still going on, I'm still following it. When I follow it, I research it to a T. So it just makes sense to me that the case is not closed out yet. That's why I have 23 cases that I'm following, because like even Masterstein, I did that one, and that's in appeal right now. So like I'm following stuff with that, like all the appeal stuff with that. Even Sarah Boone did that, and she's might have that appeal going, so like nothing's done until it's done, which
Absolutely.
is why I don't have things like these new things coming up, which is why I don't have them on my radar, because I just don't have the room. Like, but I did take on Mangione, and I'm kind of regretting that a little bit. But
yeah, I would love to stream that, but again, New York City,
you won't be able to unless they actually petition. Because here's the thing: if prosecution, if the Department of Justice is going to come out and say, I'm allowed to call him a terrorist and convict him before he even has a trial because it's good for the American people, well, then let the American people watch it. How about that? Like, I mean, wouldn't that be a good argument? Like, maybe we should petition the courts, Chris. Like, let's,
Sure. I just wish New York City. I mean, there's all kinds of things going on every day in the criminal world there. I wish that their courts would, and there's no like, it's not like they can. I mean, they are allowed, but they just choose not to, which is a bummer.
They won't stream it. You can go into the courtroom and watch. So you were able to go for Trump's trials and everything. You could go,
right?
But you can't. They won't let you stream it.
Yeah, which is a shame. I really wish that they would change that, because I don't know, it's the largest city in the country, and I would love to watch some of their trials. And it's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah, you had asked about Keith's parents. Caesar and Sherry Caneiro are both still alive.
Okay, good. That's good. Good to hear. Yeah, I wonder how they're taking all this. They lost 2 boys. They lost grandsons, granddaughters.
It does appear that both Jennifer's parents are still alive too, Betty and Vlasis Chiardis. Yeah.
Okay. It's a shame. It's a shame. Well, hopefully this will help some people heal on not everybody. Like on one side, obviously Susan, I don't know if she's going to be able, or her kids, Caitlin,
I know I saw so many people saying she wasn't in court because she was down in county court filing, divorce. But I'm like, I know it's probably coming, but I doubt it was today. I think she's probably just home with her daughters, expecting the worst. Actually.
Yep.
So. Yeah. I mean, you can't blame them. Would you want to be there with the other family while they're celebrating, and you're like, it's
Yeah.
So
then so then our next question, or next, where we point our flashlight, is going to be sentencing. Are they going to show up?
Sentencing May 12th. Yeah.
Are they going to do impact statements? Do you think? What do you think?
I know that sociopath is going to ask them to. I bet you he goes back to his cell, and the first thing tomorrow is a phone call to them.
Yep.
Yeah. Whether they can or not. I mean, I do believe, Caitlin was so passionate about her love for her father, and it's just out of the realms of possibility that he did this. I'm sure she will speak strongly for him at sentencing. I mean, I think so, based on what I saw. But,
and then will Corey come up and make a statement or not? I wonder.
For what?
To throw the book at Paul for throwing him under the bus for 8 years.
I would love, again, two minds on that one. Boy, would I love to see it. It's really going to make that documentary even better. But legally, he's involved in a civil suit. The last thing Corey Caneiro should say is anything about anything. Don't show up anywhere. Don't do anything.
Yep.
He's got to, if I was his lawyer or anybody around him, that's what I'd be saying. Use your head. Stay out of it. It's all volatile. Just stay away, stay away, stay away.
Yep. Jennifer, I was just saying that, like, he should just move to Hawaii or something, or just move to California and just put it out. But he's got, I mean, he still has family, obviously. His wife's family, I'm sure he's still close with and everything. But yeah, and his parents, you know, I would expect he's still close with his parents, you know. So
yeah. Well, you know, his parents are still here. No, his father's not here. I thought they said his father was in Greece. I don't know. I know Jennifer's father was. Well, I wasn't sure. Somebody said that Caesar Caneiro was, and I'm like, I've never thought that, you know. But Caesar has a long-term battle with the estate over the estate, because he was actually listed, if, you know, the children had died, that, you know, he would have a say in the estate, not be the trustee or anything like that. Now, the Jennifer's family, their whole lawsuit is about the fact that Corey took over as trustee, and that might have been illegal. They just, like, he secretly did it and he didn't tell anybody, and we had a vested interest. But it all depends on how the trust was designed. And it does look like Keith and his estate planner put a lot of thought into this. And I'm sure these scenarios were, I mean, not the murder, but scenarios of succession were definitely documented. But we only saw the life insurance part of that. The estate itself has a whole nother line of succession and partitioning and all this other stuff that we're not privy to yet until we hear it in the civil case, which in civil cases, I think I have to find out if they can be broadcast, because that's usually a little different.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, to really follow this trial, you know, to the end.
We would get to see a lot more of the people involved in this case that we didn't get to see. We would definitely answer a lot of questions, like, what does Corey Caneiro look like? And who are those people that were watching the trial? Who's the sister? Who's the mom? Like, they're all, we get answers for sure. You know,
Yeah.
it's definitely, it's on my to-do list.
Well, keep us in the loop if I don't know who. Well, we NewJerseyCourts.com or whatever. You know, I think you can always go there, but you don't always know which room it's going to be in, and if they're actually going to stream it. Like Judge Lemieux, obviously he was streaming it, but he wasn't streaming it on New Jersey Courts. You know, so
no, he wasn't. It wasn't like South Carolina or North, like where you can actually go right to the court, like they did in Idaho. Like, you could just pull it up. Right from the court yourself, and you weren't really you know, the only thing is they don't save those. You got to get them right away, or boom, they're gone. But
and you have to get permission. You can't just grab them. You have to get permission.
No, you do. You have to actually send something to them to do it.
Yeah. Aaron's going through that with Sean Higgins. Oh, that's another big Jersey trial we're going to follow. Is that on your radar at all, Sean Higgins?
No, I didn't pick it up because of the amount I had, so I'll definitely be watching it over here with you guys.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
As long as I'm still welcome in the chat now that Caneiro's done.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Like, you could keep me out anyway. Like, you know.
I see no reason for that to happen. So yes, you're always welcome.
Well, thank you very much. And likewise, sure. Although I really don't do a lot of lives much anymore, but
that's okay.
I do.
Well, the Black Mirror. Once Black Mirror comes out, we could do that.
Yes, that's gonna be fun. What a change of pace.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. When is that scheduled to come out? Do you know?
Too long from now, Brooker. They haven't even given us a release date. You know, and I just keep teasing myself, like, well, maybe it's being delayed because they're actually going to do it here in Monmouth County, and I'll actually get to actually meet Charlie Brooker someday. But then you'll all be reading about me in the papers for stalking or something, you know. So, as I'm a big Brooker fan, like
he's great. He's great. I can't wait. Hopefully this year. Hopefully at some point this year. So.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But you're on the list. You're definitely on the list. Actually, you're like in the top 2 there because we didn't
Fantastic.
get to do it last. The seasons go so fast.
Yeah.
Like so
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
soon as they announce it, we'll start picking dates and stuff
Sounds
because it
good.
all comes out right away. So
Sounds
on
good.
that, I guess we should let you all go get your dinner.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good way to end. And thank you for joining us for these weekly recaps, and then our verdict what is this? Our verdict reaction.
It's
I'm
been
getting
a lot of fun. I
yeah.
really, really want to thank you because it's been a pleasure. It's really
Ah,
been a hoot. Yeah.
thank you. No, I'm really happy that we have done this, and I'm looking forward to doing it down the road too.
Yeah, so am I. This was
Okay.
really a lot of fun. It really was.
Fantastic. All right, Claire. Have a
Okay.
great weekend, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, you too. Good
Okay.
night, all.
Thanks. Bye. All right, you guys, that's about it. So if you haven't subscribed and checked out Claire's channel, please go do so. We really, really thank you and appreciate you, connecting with us and doing this. This was helped me understand the court system a little bit more. Every trial I do, I learn a little bit more and more, and especially somebody like Claire, you have a great mind for it, and you have a lot of details. You keep a lot of details, which I appreciate. So with that, we will say good night. Thank you guys for being with us on the New Jersey versus Paul Caneiro trial. We're going to put it to bed for now, but we will be back for sentencing, which is May 12th, 3 months from now, pretty much to the day. It's going to be at 8:30 a.m. So we will definitely remind you guys when that's coming up, but it is on our radar for sure. So with that, really appreciate you guys being with us. We're taking the weekend off, and then we're going to come back Monday for Colin Gray out of Georgia. So that's going to be a really interesting one. As Claire was saying, it's going to be precedent-setting, historic, case law, all the alls. It's going to be that and much more. So it's going to be sad. It's going to be, it's already sad. We did a deep dive on it today, and it's already going to be painful to watch, but we will watch it. We'll cover it. So with that, you guys, appreciate you being with us, and we will see you on Monday. All right, take care. Bye.